Stephanie and Vanessa, you have extolled the beauty and power and shaping mechanisms of good ritual. And I know that for both of you, sometimes your ministry or your leadership is shaping communities with millennials who may not have been raised with church rituals and may actually start with a little aversion to, oh gosh, here comes that churchy ritual stuff. What have you found? Have you found an aversion to ritual because they associate it in negative ways with church, an eagerness? And if it's aversion, how do you move to the places where some native and inchoate desire for ritual? What has your experience been?
I think my experience has been both, very much depending on the person. We try to ritualize a lot. As I said, I really believe in rituals, but we want to ritualize things without re-traumatizing people from whatever it is that maybe had them leave their church. And so we have a lot of listeners who are queer or trans or are in an interfaith relationship, and so, or got really bad advice from a minister in their lives. We heard from someone recently who was told to go off of her antidepressants and felt as though that was wrong for her. And so we want to salvage what we really believe is great about religion without re-confronting people with what it is that maybe they left religion for. And we do have a lot of religious listeners and participants as well. And I think that people, at least our listeners, some people will say, I'm listening to your podcast, although it took a lot for me to get over, the fact that you use the word sacred, the fact that you use the word blessings. And I think it's just because it's triggering for them. And so we try to be sensitive about that, but most of our listeners are very open to the idea of ritual. And this is something we've also seen. Stephanie and I are working on a pilgrimage together, and it's so interesting how much people are yearning for meaning making. And I really think that churches not just can, but need to meet people where they are on these things, because we need places to gather, to shelter refugees and for blanket drives and for sex ed and for all of these important things. We need churches and synagogues and mosques. And but for all sorts of reasons, a lot of people have a real problem with something fundamental about churches, and it's our job to make those spaces more hospitable to young people.